Oh, yeah! You know what time it is. That's right, it's time for the Eddie and Webby podcast! Yo, I'ma bust out some theme song action for you. Check it out. The Eddie and Webby show is the place to be. They're talking about beer and pickleball and technology. So if you didn't know, now you know. 'Cause it's time for the Eddie and Webby show.
On today's episode, Eddie and Webby go back to the future. This is the Eddie and Webby podcast.
Well, hello there, honorary Beer City Open gold medal. Don't you worry, one of these days I'll actually win a gold medal and you won't be so lonely, okay? Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and this is our 69th podcast.
Oh yeah, episode number 69.
I can't believe it. We've made it to number 69, and I'm very excited for tonight's show. This is going to be awesome, right, Webby?
Yeah, this is going to be very cool. And actually, before we get started, I think we should play a little video to kick things off tonight. So I'd say, Eddie, go ahead and roll it. Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And as you can hear from all the amazing background noise, we are also live from Perrin Brewing Company at the 2019 Beer City Open pre-party. How amazing is that?
Amazing. That's really the only word I can think of right now is amazing. The entire weekend from beginning to end.
It's been so cool to be a part of this. Live streaming, interviews, playing against Kyle, playing ourselves, having some rec games, playing for the Kyle Yates autographed paddle last night.
Yeah, this was awesome. Can't wait to do it again. Can't wait to come back next year. Oh, sorry. But yeah, tonight was the night we were supposed to be coming to you live from Perrin Brewing Company for the 2020 Beer City Open kickoff party, but obviously, due to the coronavirus pandemic, it had to be canceled. But we're not going to let that stop us from having a fun night. We have a couple of awesome guests joining us. We're going to celebrate the Beer City Open by discussing great moments from past tournaments, as well as talking about the exciting future plans. And we actually have a huge announcement to make as well. Can you believe all of that, Eddie?
This is going to be action-packed from beginning to end. I'm so excited to jump into it. Remember, guys, we are live. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So if you have any questions or comments for us or for the guest tonight, please feel free to throw them down there in the chat.
That's right.
And before we get into any of this, Webby, I want to ask you, what's going on in Twitter?
Oh, man, you're not going to believe this, but Twitter has been blowing up like crazy lately.
No.
Let's go ahead and read a few tweets here on the Twitter sphere. Here's one from Brad A. Shunk. He says, it pays to watch Eddie and Webby. Thanks, Pickleball Alex and Vulcan Pickleball for the paddle. And look at that. That's a paddle that he won because he tuned in when we had Alex and Jennifer on our previous episode. So that's very cool that they both sent him paddles. And I think if numerous people actually got paddles that night just for tuning in and emailing Jennifer Lucour. So how awesome is that?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. It was really cool to do that.
Yes, very cool. Let's do another message on Twitter here. Here's one from Harry's Tiles. I really liked the review videos you both did of the new Vanguard paddles from Selkirk. I appreciate how honest you were. More review videos, please. Well, thank you, Harry. I appreciate the feedback. That was very nice. And that was fun. Like, I love doing review videos. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I don't think Selkirk's going to be sending me a paddle anytime soon after my Vanguard review, but...
Probably not. Probably not. But
maybe there's other companies out there that will, Harry, and we'll do more reviews for you.
Right? One cool thing is they did appreciate and they encouraged us to give our honest feedback, and that's exactly what we did. Yep. So maybe they're regretting that they asked us to do that, but But I don't know. We got great feedback, and it was fun to do. So
Yeah, for
I
sure.
liked it. And thank you for that message, Harry. Let's do one more message. Here's one from Dink Van Dyke. It's probably for the best that the Beer City Open got canceled this year. Nobody wanted to see the lackluster team of Eddie and Webby get destroyed in yet another tournament. Come on.
Come on, Dink. Stop it, man. He's so mean to us. Why is he so mean?
He really is. I feel like he's probably like our number. Like, I feel like he comments more than anybody, and it's always like a troll comment. So come on, Dink. Get with it. Get a life.
Get a life, Dink.
But yeah, that's it for Twitter for today. But tonight is actually such a special night that Eddie and I actually can't handle running the show alone. So one of our special guests is actually going to be joining us as co-host for the night. And if my calculations are correct, this is his unprecedented 4th time being a guest on our show. He is a great friend of ours. And like us, he is highly addicted to both pickleball and craft beer. He is also a stand-up comedian, and he has played a big part in the success of the Beer City Open pickleball tournaments. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show tonight's special guest co-host, Mr. Matt Lauria. How's it going, man?
What's up, guys? Listen to that intro. My God, that is beautiful music. I'm sure when people saw that I was going to be on the podcast on Facebook, they were like, "Wait, who? What? Why is he returning?" And so I'm very happy to be back, because the fact that you guys have had me on like 4 times, it's like, have you ever seen that, like the co-host or the host of Saturday Night Live that they keep having back, and they're like, "How in the hell is Britney Spears on Saturday Night Live again?" And I feel like that's basically my role here. They're like, they could get Kyle or Tyler or Tyson back again, and it's like, nope, Matt Lauria again. All right. So I appreciate you guys showing me the love here tonight.
Nice. No, but we always love having you on. It's been a while, but I mean, you've been with us pretty much since the beginning. I feel like you were our first like really true fan, and you've always been loyal and very supportive to us. So we love the fact that you're here with us. And one cool thing, last summer, when I was on the west side of Michigan for the Great Lakes Regionals Pickleball Tournament, I finally got the chance to see you do stand-up comedy in person. And man, that was hilarious. That was a super fun night. In fact, we have a short little clip from that night that we'd like to play right now.
Please put your hands together for Matt Lauria. I'm born and raised here. I live here. I am 33. I've never been married. I've never been engaged. I don't have any kids. I did it, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I did it. Yeah, thank you. Gonna make me unbutton another button on this shirt with that kind of wooing. I like it.
Oh, nice. Love it. But you actually can't even use that joke anymore, can you?
I was just gonna say, it's crazy how much COVID has done to all my material and all my things. It's I am 34 now. I am engaged. Not only that, but I do have a dog now. That's part of that joke, and so I'm just scrapping all kinds of material right now. So it's a fun one. I'm glad you were able to find a clean clip in that 30-minute set I did that night. So that's a good 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the only 30 seconds we could use from the whole stand-up act. So at least you had something we could show tonight. But seriously, that was such a fun night. That was a hilarious bit that you had that night. A very cool experience. Speaking of being engaged, though, how has the wedding planning been going? Like, has this quarantine life like affected things in any way? Like, you still want to get married, right?
Absolutely. It's the greatest testament. Everyone says if you can make it through this, you can really make it through marriage. And so it's been funny, because when we got engaged, it was September of 2019, and people were like, "Wow, when are you guys getting married? When are you going to actually set a date?" And we did for July of 2021. And then everyone's running joke was basically, "Why are you guys waiting so long? Why are you guys waiting so long?" And now everyone is like, "We're so glad you waited so long, because I think we're actually going to be able to have a wedding." Because before that, I've heard so many horror stories of people's guest list going from 200 down to 4, and it's just in the back room of an Arby's. So hopefully we can at least pay for a Chick-fil-A wedding, maybe. So who knows?
There you go. Nice. But yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree. I feel like this whole quarantine thing is an excellent test for any relationship. If you haven't grown to hate your significant other after months of quarantine, then I'd say it's a good sign that you're meant to be together forever.
Exactly, man. She can even stand this beard. Seeing that clip and seeing that old joke and seeing that face again, I was like, God, I wish I was 33 and all those things here again. So who knows? Who knows by next Beer City Open.
Nice. Well, it means a lot that you were able to join us here tonight, Matt, but we also have another very special guest that is waiting patiently to join us. So I think now is a good time to bring her on. I am very excited to have our next guest back on the show. She joined us for a little bit last year during podcast 43 when we were live at Perrin Brewing Company. She is a very talented and successful pro-level pickleball player who has also been a tournament director for one of my personal favorite events of the year, which is the Beer City Open Pickleball Tournament. When she's not on the pickleball court, she is a practicing attorney. And to be honest, without the tremendous amount of support from both her and Matt here, most people probably wouldn't even know who Eddie and Webby are. So got to thank you both for that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Andrea Koop. How's it going, Andrea?
Hey guys, thanks for having me back. Matt, I like the beard. It's very different from, when quarantine started. Saw that clip from your from your comedy show, from your age 33 comedy show, and it's a lot bigger now.
I'm loving
It
it.
is. I
Very,
like to go
very nice
for,
beard.
Absolutely. I'm trying to go full circle here to just looking like a hairy beast. So
I wasn't sure if you were going for the homeless look, but you have a really nice home, so I wasn't sure where you're going with it.
it's mostly Amish. I've been not having as much work, so I got churned the hell out of some butter lately, and then I kind of want to look like if I sat next to you on an airplane, you might go, wait a second. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, so.
Okay, well you're not there yet.
All right, I'm getting there.
Nice. Well, this is awesome. Thank you both very much for joining us. Before we get started, though, I think we can all agree that we could all use a drink to help cope with the fact that the Beer City Open is not happening this year. So, Eddie, I think we should go ahead and reveal what we're all going to be drinking tonight. What do you think about that?
I think it sounds like a great idea.
So I'd say ladies first. Andrea, what will you be sipping on this evening? Oh, party time.
I'm drinking wine, a white wine, Pinot Grigio from Grand Traverse Winery in Traverse City, Michigan.
Very nice. Awesome. Eddie, what about you? What are you going to be drinking tonight?
So I had something show up in the mail recently that made me very happy. This is a beer that we have actually reviewed back when we used to do official beer reviews on the podcast, and that is none other than Soup's Juice by Perrin Brewing Company. I'm pretty sure I had a few of those last year during the live stream at Perrin Brewing at the Beer City Open pre-party, and it is one of my favorite IPAs, hazy New England style. It's delicious.
Yeah, I love that one too. In fact, I may or may not have polished one off before the show started.
Nice.
So, yeah. Matt, what are you going to be sipping on tonight?
I am keeping with the Perrin theme, and I'm going to be drinking Perrin's, I think, most famous and most infamous beer. It's called No Rules. It is a Vietnamese porter. And with that, this is a different variant that they made here for the 2020 edition, and it is the mango chili Vietnamese porter. So I am going to be quite buzzed because this is a 15%er, and I've tried it once before, and it goes down dangerously like not a 15%er. So keep your mute and drop the audio buttons ready to go. So if I start to get a little four-letter word crazy, you just go button up another button. We're seeing too much chest hair, Matt, and cut the beard, and I'll know what you're talking about. So.
Nice. Well, like Matt, I too will be pouring No Rules from Perrin Brewing. I am super, super excited about this too. Actually, the very first time I left my house after quarantine started was to go to Grand Rapids to pick up this beer. I just went there, did curbside pickup, and drove home. And I cannot wait. I've waited for this night. Like, I wanted a special occasion to crack it open. Can't think of a better occasion than tonight. This is the night we would have been at Perrin Brewing, so I can't think of a better time than to drink something like this from Perrin Brewing. And I've actually got the limited edition, no rules glass,
Ooh.
which makes it taste better. I hear.
I can
That's
attest to Webby
dedication,
being.
Webby.
Yeah, he was driving from the east side of the state, and he texted me that he was going to pick it up that day, and I was like, okay, you want to meet like at a 10-foot distance and have a beer in a parking lot or something? He's like, actually, my wife said no, so I was laughing pretty hard at him.
Yeah,
And
back then,
he was
like
you know what?
yeah, back then the quarantine was still like it was hitting Michigan pretty hard. It was like, nope, that can't be near any people, otherwise we're gonna die. So, got to keep our distance.
Fair.
But yeah, this is awesome. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
It's going to be a very
Cheers.
fun night. Going to make the best out of a crummy situation of the Beer City Open being canceled.
While we are cheersing, I do want to bring up Tyson McGuffin said a comment in Facebook here. It says, "Soup's juice is my child." With a
Oh,
heart
nice.
emoji.
I believe that Tyson McGuffin, like you, Eddie, has received a package in the mail in similar nature.
Ooh,
Ooh,
I like that.
very nice. Well, cheers, Tyson. I'm
That's
sure
half
he's
of my
probably got one
conversations.
as well.
Me and Tyson don't even speak English when we talk. It's just basically in soup's juice language, which is just a form of English just covered in haze and hops and shit. So it's really great.
Nice. Man, I've got to tell you guys, I just took a couple sips of this No Rules. I can't believe this is 15%. This is so damn smooth and so delicious. This is just asking for trouble, to be honest. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this episode.
Do you have two? Maybe you need to drink another one after.
Actually, I've got three of these. I got three of these bombers.
It's a party. It's gonna be a party, guys.
That's right.
We should have scheduled this podcast for after dark because this is going to get wild.
Right? Yep. That no doubt. So Andrea, let's go ahead and get things kicked off here. So was the Beer City Open, was that your idea to begin with, or how did that whole thing get started?
So yeah, I gotta admit, I'm a lawyer in my day job, and I was starting to play some professional pickleball tournaments, and they're all out on the West Coast. I mean, it's 2 years later, and we do have a few more on the East Coast, but I was like, I can't be going out to California or Utah or Arizona every month. It's not going to work. So selfishly, it was all about me. I wanted a professional pickleball tournament in Grand Rapids, where I'm from. So I went to talk to Paul Richards, who's he's my co-tournament director of the tournament, and Paul is the mover and shaker in Grand Rapids. You want to get something done in Grand Rapids pickleball, you got to talk to Paul Richards. And so I talked to him, and his first response, he looked at me point blank, and he said, "No way, we're not doing that. I don't want to do that." Yeah, and so played some pickleball that day. We're at the indoor facility. You guys have all been there, Grand Rapids Racket and Fitness. Pickleball finished, and a few of us went to a bar down the road. We went to Cheers, Matt, the one on Plainfield. And
Real classy.
A very classy establishment. It's like a big boy with beer, guys. 2 Michelob Ultras later. That's all it took. It took 2 Michelob Ultras. So what is that, 3%? And Paul was on board. Paul was totally on board. So,
Nice.
I think that's how Eddie and Webby got their honorary gold medals, is that we gave him 2 Michelob Ultras, and then he was like, "I'll ship them. That's fine. We don't need to actually win them."
True. So I guess I'm letting out his secret. If you need something from Paul, 2 Michelob Ultras. That's all. That's the secret.
All right, noted here. Very nice. So Matt, what role have you played when it comes to the Beer City Open tournament? I know you have played a big role in its success.
Mostly just from a beer standpoint. Everything in terms of the fun. I'm there for the fun.
All right.
I've basically done everything when it comes to relations to Perrin Brewing and some of the beer garden stuff. Beyond that, basically just listening to Paul and Andrea, and basically being like, how can we help amongst the several other tournament committee members that really everyone puts in their 2 cents and everyone comes out with the best attitude and really the best options available. So basically, me, it's just basically been connecting the beer with it, and it sucks because we'd all be right now in a live podcast at Perrin, but I am happy to say that in Grand Rapids it is pouring right now, so it wouldn't feel like exactly the start of the Beer City Open. So at least we have that to hang our hat on here if it had to be canceled.
Yeah, I
would
feel like that is kind of a good thing. Like like how frustrating would it be if it was like absolutely gorgeous weather right now when we were supposed to be partying at Perrin.
It's weird to me that you guys say it's pouring in bad weather because I'm literally 40 miles from you, and I don't know if you can see, but it's beautiful out. So you're telling me that story, and I'm still pining for that we're not at the party at Perrin, but I'll believe you that it's raining. But you guys asked Matt about what his role is. He's being a little bit modest, and he is right that we have an excellent tournament committee. We have so many people that make this event happen. But Matt is also our liaison to I Love Pickles, and they are a great sponsor for us. I mean, Perrin is a great sponsor, and so is I Love Pickles, and he is responsible for getting, I guess, 2 of our 4 main sponsors. So it's nothing. It's no small feat. We could not run the tournament without him.
Well, plus Matt was saying like he plays a big part in like the beer side of things and like making things fun and stuff. And to me, that's a big part of why the Beer City Open is so charming to people, because I feel like there's no other tournament quite like it, because it's like it's small and it feels like a small group with a bunch of friends, close knit friends, but it's a huge tournament with all the top pros and stuff. And I feel like it's just something that you can't get from any of the other tournaments throughout the year, at least in my opinion. And so I definitely think it's something to be very proud of what you have contributed. And it's just yeah, for me it's one of the best tournaments out there. And consistently, when Eddie and I ask the pros that come on the show like what their favorite tournaments are each year, consistently the Beer City Open is right up there with the best of them.
We're happy to hear that. It's really important to us that all the pros love it. But, we work really hard to make sure that this is a players tournament for pros and amateurs alike. I mean, the parent party is so that amateurs and pros, we're all pickleball players. We can all hang out and have fun and drink a beer or a glass of wine or whatever together and enjoy a burger. And that's what pickleball is supposed to be about, and that's what our tournament's about. And we're hoping in 2021 we're going to run it and it's going to be bigger and better. And every year we try to bring something new to it, but it is a player's experience, whether you are playing in the 3-0 division or the 4.5 50 plus, or you're Tyson McGuffin and trying to win the gold in the pros.
Oh, for sure. And if I ask anybody, especially in the state of Michigan, if I ask anybody what their favorite tournament is throughout the year, it's going to be Beer City Open, hands down. I mean, the fact that it's in Michigan, the fact that it's in Beer City, I mean, it's just that's a great city alone right there. But I mean, just the fact that you can be so close to all the top pros, I mean, that's another thing that you can't get from a lot of the bigger tournaments. Like, it's just a lot more intimate feeling than a lot of the tournaments. So I mean, it's just definitely for the pros and the players, I feel like it's definitely one of the top tournaments throughout the year. So it's a good one. Definitely, it was sad for us and a lot of people that it couldn't happen this year. But like you said, it's just going to be bigger and better next year. In fact, we actually have a pretty huge announcement to make regarding next year's, but we're not going to make that announcement quite yet. We're going to milk it a little bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit,
That's
but
a
not
tease.
not
That's
quite
how
yet.
you tease, Webby. I like
That's right.
it. I like it.
I'm learning. I'm learning that a lot of the like successful podcasts, they do a lot of teasers. I know it pisses me and Eddie off when they do that, but it's just something we got to do. We got to do a teaser every once in a while.
That's the 15% talking. I see it.
That's right. So how hectic would this week be for you guys, or even like the last few months? Like if the Beer City Open did not get canceled, coming from an organizer standpoint and from a tournament director standpoint, like how crazy is it leading up to a big event like this?
Like I said, we're very fortunate that we have a great tournament committee and everybody knows their role. And the least last year, everybody did a great job, taking care of their individual tasks. But that being said, the week of is pretty busy. What'd you say, Matt? You just to get a beer garden at Belknap Park. I think Matt had to drive and pick up the beer on Wednesday, the day before, and then a group of us. I think Dave Weinbach was in it. Dave Weinbach, and we put the beer tent up.
Everybody.
Everybody's putting the beer tent up.
That was one of my favorite things. Is I said, what other sport can you have literally the top pros in the game helping me carry cases of seltzer and beer and setting up tents from my car all the way into that? So it was everyone from literally Kyle, Simone, Dave Weinbach, Ben, everybody grabbing cases to just basically help them put in this beer garden. And it's crazy down to the minute like that, but it's like Andrea bothering the beer garden people to be like, are we going to get the license to actually sell this stuff? Or is this all going to be illegal all the way up into 24 hours before? So it's wild, but yeah.
I forgot about that. That kind of gives me PTSD. So the state of Michigan, and I think this is pretty normal for an event license like that. We had to get a license from the state to sell liquor or sell beer, I guess, alcohol. And even though we applied, because I'm pretty OCD, we applied very early. They don't look at your application by the date of applying. They look at it by the date of your event. So on Tuesday of the week of the Beer City Open, we still don't have approval, and I am freaking out. But the guy who was running our beer garden is like, no, this is normal. It's okay. And I'm like, we have $3,000 worth of beer. What are you talking about? It's okay. And we have 500 people who are going to be at Belknap Park expecting beer all weekend. No, it's not okay. But it was okay, and hopefully next year it'll be okay too. But like I said, it takes a village to run a tournament like that.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that Eddie and I did last year is we made these beer koozies, and we were blown away at how popular these things were. I think we made 200 of them. We were like, man, we're never gonna get rid of these 200 koozies. Like, nobody's gonna want these things. And I feel like, I think it was the first day we went through all of them super quick. In fact, people were actually getting mad because there weren't more available to hand out. And so we were definitely planning on making at least twice as many this year, but don't worry, everybody, we'll have plenty for next year's. So you can count on that. Another thing that Eddie and I did last year that like stands out, like it'll always be one of my life highlights, and that was the 2-versus-1 match against Kyle Yates. That was such a crazy experience, such an unforgettable experience. And that was like our first taste, and probably one of our only tastes of seeing what it's like to be a pro level player, because like the whole court was surrounded with people. There were like probably a couple hundred people around the place watching us play. It made me nervous as hell, and we played horribly against him, but it was still a very fun experience. And we were actually going to we were planning on keeping the tradition alive this year by doing a 2-versus-1 match. And the person that we were supposed to do the 2-versus-1 match against actually sent us a video. So Eddie, let's go ahead and play that right now.
Hey Eddie and Webby, it's Annalie here. I was really upset to hear that Beer City was canceled because I was planning on kicking your butt in the 2v1 challenge. But I am taking this opportunity to challenge you to a 2021 duel. And I'm going to kick your butt then too, so be ready.
Wow.
So there you go. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. In the 2021 Beer City Open, it's going to be a 2-versus-1 match. Eddie and Webby versus Annalie Waters. What do you guys think about that?
She's got a whole nother year to get older and better. Good luck. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know what we're thinking.
They have a whole other year to get better too, though, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Like that. They got a whole nother year to make 200 more beer koozies. That's what they got to do.
Yes, there you go.
Nice. So like I said before, we have a big announcement to make regarding next year's Beer City Open. And it isn't just the fact that the Beer City Open will be joining forces with the APP Tour. But before we do get into that announcement, Andrea, can you tell us a bit about what it means for the Beer City Open to be joining the APP Tour?
I can. We're really excited about our partnership. As part of it, we are going to expand the tournament from instead of being from Thursday to Sunday, we're going to go from Wednesday to Sunday. So we're going to add a day. We're hoping to get 600 participants next year. And being a part of the APP just means that we can be, bigger. We can reach a broader audience with their media connections. We love Lauren and Kyle, and as well as with you guys. So it's going to open up a lot of doors for us, and just being more visible and continuing to put on the great product that we always do. Paul and I are still going to be the same tournament directors, and we're still going to be trying to put on the exact same show. But we just have a new media, new marketing partner, and we're part of a tour, which is super exciting, and it's only good for pickleball. And it helps us grow as an individual tournament and the sport as a whole as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I agree. I think that is a great move for the Beer City Open. I think it's gonna cause things to get bigger and better, and it's gonna be awesome. But what do you guys think? Should we go into the big announcement?
We should.
Let's
All right.
do it. We're teasing.
Eddie, go ahead and roll the clip. Oh, yeah. That's right. Eddie and Webby are joining forces with the one and only Andrea Koop to co-host the 2021 Beer City Open.
You know what? I am honored that you're going to be my co-host. I honestly couldn't think of a better duo to have alongside with me, because you guys already represent the Beer City Open, and what we try to achieve there is just having a good time, fun. It's all about fun, and that's, you guys' show is fun, you guys together are fun, and you make pickleball more fun. And so for Paul and I, we are so excited that you're going to be on board with us for next year in a bigger way than you already were in years prior. So thank you.
No, thank you guys. Like you seriously, you have no idea how much that means to us. Like everybody knows how much we love the Beer City Open, and when you guys asked if we would be willing to co-host along with you, it honestly made me start to feel a little emotional. Like I was very, very happy to hear that, and it's just awesome, and I'm super excited. I can't wait. And it's just like we said, 2021 Beer City Open. It's going to be the best one ever. Just you guys wait. And to be honest, I kind of want to. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't want to step on you. I was saying we're getting seriously. You guys are literal pros in your guys' medium for what you guys do. You guys represent this game in every way possible, and I love that it's come full circle too. Like, you guys just came to the Beer City Open and documented it just pro bono at that point. You guys just saw a tournament that you guys wanted to play in together, and you guys like beer, and you think, great, we like Grand Rapids, maybe we can go see some breweries that we like, and we found your guys' videos, and it worked out well. And then all of a sudden, Paul Richards is like, we got to reach out to these guys. How can we get involved? And Andrea was the same way. And so I just love that it's come full circle here. It sucks that it had to not be in 2020, that we had to push it to year 3 in 2021. But as mentioned by you guys, it's going to be even bigger and even better. And same thing with the podcast. The podcast is going to be even bigger and even better. And we might have to give you guys a few more drink tokens, because that's on your guys' rider at that point. So
Exactly. No, but seriously, thank you guys very, very much. It means a lot. The hair is standing up on my arms right now, like this whole conversation. It really means a lot to us. But to be honest, I kind of want to enjoy my no rules a little more. And Matt, you are our co-host for tonight, and we like to make our co-hosts work pretty hard on this show. So I think you should take over for a bit. I would like to learn a bit more about Andrea, maybe some of her backstory, how she got into pickleball. But I think you would do a better job at asking her those questions. So I'm going to turn things over to you for a bit and see how things go.
Wow, that's smooth. I feel like the intern on the Eddie and Webby show that's getting paid in beer koozies and in Eddie and Webby 2 sizes too big t-shirts. I like it. This is good. I didn't even know. I do too. I love it. My fiance wears it all the time too. She needs another one in pink, a female cut one, guys. So that's That's what I want for being a co-host here and actually getting to do the interview. So, no, not a koozie. She can't fit into that. A T-shirt.
Okay.
Well, you got to forgive me because I can't remember the questions that they asked you at the parent party last year. So I'm going to start off in a very Eddie and Webby fashion and ask you how it is you got your start in the sport we call pickleball.
All right. So actually, it was Jalen Brennan, who is a pro player and she's a coach. I think she's living in Savannah, Georgia now, but she is from Michigan and she was home for a bit in 2017, staying with her mom for a few months. And I messaged her when I saw that she was home because we knew each other as in childhood. We played tennis against each other, but probably hadn't seen each other in 15 years or more. And asked her, I think I might ask her if she wanted to get coffee or meet up because she was staying like 10 minutes from me. And I live in Grand Haven, which is a little beach town, and it was in the middle of winter. And Matt can attest that nobody lives in Grand Haven in the middle of winter. So I was just looking for something to do. And she replied, well, no, I don't want to get coffee, but come play this game pickleball with me. And since I had, initiated it, I was kind of stuck because he sent me a video and I was thinking, like, this looks stupid. I don't want to go to this stupid game. But I went, and I'm glad I went because I reconnected with her um, and started playing pickleball. I was hooked from pretty much day one.
That is, God bless Jalen for getting you in on that instead of having coffee in Grand Haven at a McDonald's. That's amazing at that point. So.
Are you insinuating that we don't have any coffee here other than McDonald's,
Yeah,
Matt?
it's exactly what I'm insinuating. You guys are out there. That's why you're like, look at how beautiful it is out here in Grand Haven. It's like it's a beach town. It's supposed to be beautiful right now. This is all you guys got here right now. So, no, I'm just talking
right
trash.
now.
But I have to tell you about how I was first introduced to you. So I didn't know who you were, but then I was watching. I think it was then called the Grand Rapids Pickleball Club Championships, which actually became what now is the Beer City Open, but on a much grander and larger scale and such. And so I was seeing you, and forgive me if I get his age wrong, but Larry, is he plus 60?
I think so.
Okay, so Larry and you are playing against what I'm looking at is I'm like, these are two 5-0 under 50 males. And I'm like, is this a rec game? And they're like, no, this is the 5-0 men's division. And I'm like, why is she out there? And then I saw 1 point and I was like, oh, okay, that's why she's out there playing. And so I got to watch you take down everybody that thought that they were a 5-0 in Michigan at that point and watch them go, who is this girl? And how badass is she? So I think that's the one that sent us everyone in the stratosphere being like, okay, Koop actually might take this sport seriously here after this.
That's funny. I didn't know that you saw me there. I don't even remember when I actually first met you. I know that we became friends and got a lot closer when we started working together for the Beer City Open, but I don't remember like the first time I met you.
I was a 3-5. You guys don't give a crap about us. I know how it is, so it's just like, oh, cool. You can help me with beer at my pickleball tournament. Okay, what's your name? I see how it is. So I get it. I get it.
I mean, but you're up to a 4-5 now.
Yeah, don't want to upset Eddie and Webby here by, being a 0.5 better than them. So it's
flex, Matt, flex.
Flex. What's up? I did a little Googling because I'm always fascinated with Andrea's tennis background. And I find it amazing for people like yourself that have basically, from as much as I know, have played tennis since you were literally birthed. So I got to ask, at what age did you start playing competitive tennis?
I don't recall the age that I really started playing. I know that I played a tournament when I was 7 or 8 at the Battle Creek YMCA, but I don't remember, I was probably 10 when I started playing, regularly tournaments. But I know that I played one at least at 7 or 8, and I know that I got into tennis. My dad played in college, and initially I got into it because my mom wanted an hour to have time to go do a workout class at the Y, so she needed to drop her 3 or 4 year old child off into some type of activity to have me something to do. And I don't remember this part of it, but my mom loves to tell everybody that my mom is watching. She says 7. There we go. My mom likes to tell people
Thank
that
you,
I got kicked out of my first tennis class for being a wild child misbehaving. Again, I don't remember. I don't know what I was doing, but probably had no sit in me. Maybe I was hitting people with the racket. All of it would add up. But
that's exactly how I picture 7-year-old Andrea. But that's
oh no,
neat to
I
see
was
some
like
of
4
that.
when that happened.
4? Okay, even better.
Probably, yeah.
So you're the oldest of how many siblings do you have?
5. I'm the oldest of 5. There's 4 girls, and my brother, Louis Clarence Romenzi, the 4th, is the final child.
Wow. That
Yeah.
literally sounds like a tennis family through and through. Like you guys were born with a can of Pringles and a can of tennis balls, and they said choose one, and all 5 of you chose tennis balls. Besides Lewis, I feel like at this point.
Actually, all of us played at one point or another, but my sister Mimi and my brother stopped playing sometime in high school, and then Maggie, Sarah, and I played all through college.
So if you start then, you say you remember tournaments at 7 or 10. Then I'm always when you've had as much success as you did in your juniors career. So for people that don't know, can you give a little bit of a backstory then, I guess, on to how you go from your first tournament at 7 to 10 and then enter into the juniors circuit for what tennis is?
Sure. So you play locally in your state, and then as you get better in your age group, you can either move up in an age group or you can start playing in the same age group, but you can play in your section, which is the Midwest, or you can play nationally. And again, I don't remember how my parents had me do it, but I know that I was playing nationally by, age 10, and ultimately I was homeschooled from basically 6th grade on. Uh, didn't go back to regular school because I was playing too much tennis and traveling, and would have missed too much school to graduate. They would have put me on the truancy list.
That's partly kind of what I envisioned. Like I literally imagine, like I feel like people that are in the junior circuit are like what you guys are. You kind of like are child star actors, but without any fame or without any $1 million contracts or money. So I guess the follow-up question is then how much then at that point from like 11 on is tennis your life? And then you're basically just like then secondary to homeschool in that, or what is it like at that stage?
Um, so from about age 11 to 14, I stayed at my coach's house, and there was another girl there who I grew up with. Side note, she played tennis at Northwestern, but she lived in Southern Illinois, and we would stay at our coach's house together in Chicago area from Sunday to Wednesday, and then on Wednesdays I would come home and be home, and my dad was my primary like coach at home, or I played with my dad. We had permanent court time at the local club. We had a tennis court in our backyard, and played a lot of tennis with growing up. But school was also a pretty big deal. I was homeschooled, but it, I wouldn't say it was fake school by in any regard. I did graduate from UCLA and did pretty well there, but my parents were really strict about getting schoolwork done and following the curriculum.
Oh, I can see that. I feel like they were strict on all edges if you're just going strictly from just tennis to school and back to a tennis court. I'm fascinated because everybody that likes tennis at all or even just enjoys sports, I feel like should read Andre Agassi's Open. And when I read that, and I know just even a small smidgen of what your tennis background is, I just imagine that you had a lot of tennis balls in your childhood all throughout
You
that.
do. Tennis is a game of repetition. You got to hit a lot of balls. And while Andre's experience might be unique to him and how his childhood was, I don't think his experience of how much tennis he played would be unique at all. I think that's pretty normal for mm, whether you're a pro tennis player or a college. You've got it. You got to play a lot of tennis. I mean, you got to play 20-ish hours a week or more from a young age on to get to that level.
Wow. Well, I said I meant to do some Googling. I found that you played in both the U.S. Open and the French Open junior championships. Beyond just like playing on those ultimate stages, what outside of actually playing is one of your most memorable experiences at either of those Grand Slams?
Memorable? Well, I gotta admit, embarrassing part of Grand Slam when I went to Paris. I think I was 15, and we went with a group of kids, but the U.S. Tennis Association took us, so there was a couple of coaches where we all traveled as a big group. And one of the days we had a day off, and the coaches were like, we can, go see Paris. You can do, gave us, I don't recall what the options were, but, the Louvre or Notre Dame or whatever. Oh, no, no, that's not what the group of 15-year-old idiot Americans chose. No, no. We saw the new Star Wars movie, which at that time in 2002 was the one with like Phantom Menace or something like that. So I don't know if it's my best memory. It's probably my most embarrassing one, though.
That's, I don't even blame that on you as much as I blame it on the coaches of being like, no, that's not an option. Like, you can't like, if we're literally in New Orleans and we're in the French Quarter and somehow there's a Golden Corral built, I'm not letting anyone choose a Golden Corral over going to any of these other restaurants. That is ridiculous. Wow.
Well, you just compared Star Wars to Golden Corral, and that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna get 1,000 comments about how much that's not accurate at all, and I could at least said
no, it
Outback
is. When you're in
Steakhouse or something.
when you're in Paris, France, and you decide to go to Star Wars, I mean, even if it was the original or one of the new ones, which was actually good, it's the wrong answer.
Wow. Well, God bless you guys. Was it good? Do you remember really liking the movie at that age?
No, I don't remember it at all. I don't remember that at all. And I also don't even remember if I voted for it or if I just was like, oh, everybody else wants to go. I don't want to look like the loser who doesn't want to go.
I love that. I love that she's just like, yeah, sure. Han Solo instead of Rafa. Okay, sounds good. I'm good.
Yeah, pretty much.
What would you say then? I guess you mentioned UCLA that you recruited there. I'm fascinated to see how, like, a girl that lives in Battle Creek, Michigan, is recruited to UCLA. Like, normally when I think of just in terms of like the big three sports, people try and stay, at least somewhat Midwestern region. How is it that you settled on UCLA versus anyone else that was out there?
Sure. So when I grew up, I mentioned that I trained in Chicago, and there was a girl that I had trained with who had already gone up to UCLA, and she was actually a senior when I was a freshman. But we had trained together years prior, and so I knew her there already, and I already had it in my head that that was so cool that she was at UCLA. But I was one of the best recruits for my year for tennis, and probably had my pick of the litter of which school to go to. It didn't hurt that Rance Brown, the associate head coach at UCLA, came and he flew all the way to Michigan and drove to Battle Creek, Michigan, and sat on my parents' living room couch and gave us the spiel and said, I want your daughter to come out to UCLA and we're going to take care of her and it's going to change her life. And it did, and I believed him, and I went to UCLA, and it was a great decision for me. And I got to play outdoor tennis for 4 years, which is something I really wanted to do. I'm not a fan of winter. I didn't want to play indoor tennis, and I never had to do it at UCLA.
That's incredible. It's funny, you mentioned that, and I imagine like the Jim Harbaugh story that everybody knows, where he went and spent the night at a kicker's house in order to have pancakes in the morning, cooked by his. So like, did he spend the night? Did your mom and dad cook pancakes in the morning, or was it just he just sat on a couch and was like, "Get me the hell out of Michigan"?
He did come. He spent some time on the couch. We went to lunch with him at a local Italian restaurant, but he spent a good part of the day.
Olive
but
Garden?
no, he didn't spend.
Was it Olive Garden?
It was not an Olive Garden. It was my mother might know the name of it, but it's a local place, not a chain.
Mary, what was the name of the place? Come on, Mary, we need it here now.
Plug it. This is not an advertisement.
The Beer City Open is going to be sponsored by I Love Pickles, Elders Helpers, APP, Eddie and Webby, and the Olive Garden Part 2. And that's the name that we're going with till Mary comments here. So
Yeah. I want to say Palermo's, but I don't know if that's right.
okay, we'll run with it. Palermo's it is. I'm imagining when you go to UCLA from like Battle Creek, it's got to be kind of intimidating off the bat, just from like going to that level. But I'm assuming though you've been around a lot of these juniors tournament or just the circuits and knowing some of these players that you're walking into. But what is that like? What is that pressure like when you deal with it as an incoming freshman, basically just coming from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and now you're all of a sudden in Southern California?
Going back to the 15-year-old Andrea and being in a group who chose to go to Star Wars in France, it's a similar worldview. No, tennis players are extremely selfish and arrogant and self-absorbed, and yes,
Not Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios seems like the most level-headed individual, and I will not believe anything otherwise.
I wasn't comparing myself to Nick Kyrgios, but in general, we are pretty self-absorbed and our worldview is a little myopic. And I can say now, as a 31-year-old, that when I was a freshman at UCLA, you go in and you don't know anything. I mean, you don't know anything. You think that you're going to walk in and like take over the world, and really, it's so intimidating, like you said, and you're just trying to keep your head above water, and you go and you have 20 to 25 hours a week of tennis related obligations. It's not just tennis. Like you have fitness, you have tennis, and you have mandatory study hall. And you're supposed to be studying at study hall, but it's still an obligation. It's something that takes time that you have to schedule in your time, schedule in your day. So your whole day is planned and scheduled for you. But at the same time, that's totally different than what you've been used to for 18 years. So you go and to get used to that, and then when season starts, you're traveling pretty much Wednesday night to Sunday every weekend, or if you're not traveling, you're playing at home. So it's a huge adjustment, and I think all freshmen go through it. But you go there and you think that everything is going to be one way, and it's totally not. And I had my coaches at UCLA who they all see it every year when they bring in new recruits every year, so they know the drill. They took care of me, and they took care of everyone else. And my freshman year, our team won NCAAs, and I played a small part in that. But we had 4 seniors. We had a great team that year, and I think it was probably one of the best teams in UCLA history. Not just because we won NCAAs for multiple reasons, but going into a school like that as a freshman, everyone thinks that you're no matter how good you are, you think that you're gonna it's gonna be the same whether you're in your Big Fish in Battle Creek, Michigan, and I don't think it matters that you're in LA or not. It's those type of schools, they're used to excellence, and it takes a long time to get there.
Yeah, I can't believe it walking into that, but I'm glad that everyone has the mantra of like you have to have that ego in tennis, otherwise could just swallow you whole here. You mentioned that of like you're scheduled 24/7 as going in as a freshman. I have a few friends that played D2 college football and D1 college football, and they always mention that, but then they say at the end, like when they're finally in their last game, their senior year, and then they don't have that to go to, they say they're more lost by the end of that year because it's, basically like January of that time, and then they don't have anything to do, and they're just like, I have a PlayStation. I don't really have to go to class, and they don't know what it's like to not have to be in a weight room at this time or not have their whole life scheduled for them. So it's kind of crazy how you come in at 18 and leave another way where you're like, no, schedule some stuff for me. I need to know what to do.
I suppose I'm not sure that I know what you're talking about. I know I have a lot of friends that went through that, But UCLA was on the quarter system, and the tennis is a spring sport. I mean, I'm not sure why they call it a spring sport. We arrive on campus in August, and we start practicing it then, and then we don't finish until June. So we call it a spring sport, but we're playing all school year long. But it's on a quarter system, so NCAAs is in May, but we don't finish school until the end of June. So I never had that. But really, I mean, I had about 3 weeks, I guess. You know, NCAAs finishes around Memorial Weekend. And then we had 3 more weeks my senior year. That's the only time I would have ever experienced it for a total of 3 weeks. My big thing was when I went to law school, and everybody, all of my peers at law school, were always freaking out about how busy they were. And I thought, like, I had all this time all of a sudden. I was just a student, and I had a lot of anxiety my 1L year because I wondered if I wasn't doing it right. Like, everyone was like talking about how much work they had and how exhausting and overwhelming, I guess, everything about law school was. And to me, I thought, wow, I'm just in school and I don't have to play tennis for 25 hours or have 25 hours of athletic related obligations a week. This is amazing. But then as more and more people kept telling me how busy they were, I had myself convinced in my head, grad student, and in law school, you just take one test. You're graded on one test at the end of the semester. So everyone is equal until December, and you get one test, and that's your grade. So all semester long, I was like thinking I was going to fail or flunk out because all these people were freaking out about what they were doing, and I just thought, I must be doing it wrong because I'm not that busy. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, if you look at your left shoulder, you got some dirt on it. If you want to go ahead and brush that off, that would be really good here for the podcast.
Sorry, guys.
I get lost in the celebrity of Los Angeles and of SoCal, and as a sports fan, you always hear about like athletes or anyone just like in the off season, they always work out at UCLA. They're doing UCLA workouts with the team or things of that nature. When you were there during those 4 years or however long, did you ever experience any cool stories with any athletes or celebrities or anyone rather that would just be kind of in and around campus training or anything?
Sure, quite a bit. Well, my coach at UCLA was Stella Sampras Webster, as in Pete Sampras's sister. So Pete Sampras hung around quite a bit. He was retired by the time I got there, but he was there all the time. He played with the men's team quite a bit, and I was fortunate enough to get to hit with him a number of times too. He was pretty quiet, but I got to play tennis with Pete Sampras, so that's something one of my claim to fames. As far as tennis stars, Indian Wells is out there in March for the tennis tournament, and Novak Djokovic would train there, would train at UCLA prior to the tournament. Serena was there all the time. The big tennis stars come to UCLA in about early March to train right before Indian Wells, and that's pretty normal. We got, I guess, immune to it because we're like, oh, it's just Novak Djokovic again, which is totally silly that that's how we thought of it. But because we saw them every day, that is how you start to think of it that way. Sam Querrey, he's one of the top American men's players now, and he lives in LA.
He
so
plays
he
pickleball.
trains at UCLA. He does indeed. You're right. I've seen those YouTube
He
videos.
does, yeah.
But he trains tennis at UCLA anytime he's home, so I got to see him. But apart from tennis players, so a lot of celebrities would work out in the UCLA training facility, I assume, because you need a pass or you need to get. Not anybody can just get in there, so they feel like they're not going to get stalked. And we were under strict rules, like don't bother them when they're there. So like the big one that I remember would be Ryan Gosling. He was there quite a bit when I was there. And then basketball players. So like when I played.
Come on. You can't just skip past Ryan Gosling. There's a whole audience
You're right.
that needs to talk
You're right.
more about Ryan Gosling here right now. So
You're right.
I just imagine so this is, so it's still a college gym and all that. So he's just basically using it like he's a college student and he's just going there to basically lift weights just to not to be bothered.
Sure. Yes.
That's it.
That is accurate. Yes, that is accurate. Yes.
So then how often, like, I know that there's got to be people, though, that are like, is it constant? Like, is it like that? Or is it
So
mostly like people like,
no, so like I said, the athletic facilities, at least then, and my understanding now is that football has their own athletic training facility at UCLA now. They didn't when I was there because, I'm almost 100 years old now. It's been forever. But when I was there, all the athletes trained in the same facility, and you had to be an athlete. You had to have like an athlete ID card to scan to get in. The door was locked. So, and then our coaches would just say, like, don't bother people. You just knew if another team, it didn't matter if you were a celebrity or another team, you're there to get your workout in, not to gawk or bother people. So I'm not sure how Ryan Gosling got in there. Clearly, he was not a student at UCLA or he wasn't an athlete, but he must have known somebody. But he was there. He was there all the time. James Franco was a student at
Ryan?
UCLA at the time I was
yeah, see, there you go. And that's even better, too. Ryan Gosling has a key card to everything in life. So if he
there. He
wants to
probably
come
does.
to
Oh, he
literally
does. You're
anything,
right.
I tell you this, I'll put this out here right now. Eddie and Webby are going to play Annalie Waters 2-on-1. I would like to play Ryan Gosling in a game of Flip Cup in the Beer City Open Beer Garden at the
Nice.
2021 Beer City Challenge. I know you guys are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, but I'm pretty sure Gosling's a Twitch guy. So this goes out to you, Gosling, on Twitch. Bring your wife. I like her a lot. She can be on your team too. It can be a 2-on-1 Flip Cup. Don't get dirty out there, Eddie and Webby Minds. 2-on-1 of Flip
Nice.
Cup and nothing else. So
Well, maybe our 3 Twitch subscribers could get the word out there to Ryan Gosling that this challenge was issued. And speaking of Ryan Gosling, are you guys familiar with the Ryan Gosling won't eat cereal videos that are out there on YouTube?
Yes.
Like, if anybody listening, if you have not looked up Ryan Gosling refuses to eat cereal, do yourself a favor and look that up. It's one of my favorite things that's on the internet. And I'm sorry to be a downer, but the guy that created those videos, he ended up passing away of cancer. But Ryan Gosling, to show how awesome he is, he did a video of himself eating cereal to pay tribute to this guy that passed away of cancer. But the videos, they are seriously like some of the funniest things I've ever seen. So do yourself a favor, look up Ryan Gosling refuses to eat cereal. That's all I'm going to say. And Matt, I got to tell you, you're doing a great job. I love what you're doing here. You're a great co-host, man.
by the end of this, I just want a small Eddie and Webby T-shirt for my fiance. So just start digging through it, you guys. I know. Eddie's not doing anything here right now, but producing the whole show, so he can go ahead and find a small T-shirt between now and then. I feel like we're not getting enough questions, so I got to start asking some pickleball stuff because pickleball people are like, "That's great, you play tennis. Stop it. We want to hear something about pickleball because that's why I'm tuning in." So.
Sure.
I'm fascinated by how many obviously people cross over from tennis to pickleball, but I feel like a lot of them, as most people do in tennis, they kind of look down their nose at other things. So I feel like a lot of them have done that at pickleball. How many people from like anything from your juniors to your collegiate tennis to anything, how many like teammates or opponents have you run into now throughout your tennis world that have now segued into the pickleball world?
Very, very few actually. Um, I've played pickleball with 2 of my teammates from UCLA, but it didn't stick with either of them. I feel like that's pretty the norm for tennis people. They either like it right away or they really don't like it. I think pickleball people who don't have a racket sports background think that tennis people are automatically like have such a big advantage, and there's no doubt that they probably have some advantage with their racket sports and hand-eye coordination, but tennis and pickleball are really very different. And at least the people that I've played tennis with and I've tried to introduce them to pickleball, there's no dinking in tennis. You don't do that. So when they try to tennis, they come out and bang the first few balls, and then they get, for lack of a better word, they get a beat down. they're like, this is a dumb game. I'm not playing this. So they play that one time, and they play essentially tennis on a pickleball court, and they don't try to dink, so they don't like it immediately. Anything. And from an ego standpoint, as a tennis player, you've been like this, especially really good in your craft, and all of a sudden you're losing to like a overweight, over 50-year-old person. That's really hard on your ego. So a lot of them were like, yeah, no, this is not for me.
I gotta imagine it, and I have to imagine in that world too. Then when your former teammates play with you, or ones that maybe haven't even played with you and stuff, and then they start to see you posting about pickleball or your involvement with pickleball, how many people actually reach out to you in a condescending way about like, are you still doing that pickleball stuff? Like things like that. Did you get that from any of those people in that world?
Not from any of my old teammates, but I have gotten it from like some of the guy tennis players that I grew up playing with, because they just trash talk, sending me messages. But no, none of my former teammates has sent me that. And that's another thing, is that a lot of them like have really badass professional jobs or have kids and have a life, so maybe they just don't have time to get into pickleball yet.
God, I can't imagine what that's like, having a life and not being able to go up to play a rec sport in Michigan 3 months a year. God bless him. All right, now that's
Exactly.
We're all about the Beer City Open in this podcast. So beyond the Beer City Open, though, in the short time that you've been playing, what would you say are either maybe your top 1 or 2 tournaments outside of the Beer City Open that you participated in?
So I played nationals in 2018 with my sister Maggie, and I love going to Indian Wells. I got to play at Indian Wells probably like 8 times as a tennis player. So getting to go back there as a pickleball player was totally surreal. I did not get to play Indian Wells last year, or nationals. I was planning on doing it this year, but another one bit the dust, as you guys all know, because of what's currently going on. But Indian Wells is going to be, or nationals at Indian Wells, I suppose, is going to be my favorite outside of the Beer City Open. Beer City Open is definitely my favorite. I'm a little biased, but even though it's a lot of work for me, but I love having everybody, all my friends from all over the pickleball world, come into my hometown and to play. I love that. Outside of nationals, a non-Grand Slam event tournament that I really enjoyed, I played the Atlanta Open. That is hosted, or tournament director is Chad Cromwell, and I think right now it's still on the schedule for September this year, so we'll see if it goes. But they run a really great tournament down there. It's a lot of fun. The facility's great. I'm looking forward to hopefully playing it if it doesn't bite the dust. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Yes.
Nice.
What then? I guess go ahead if you got something, Webby.
No, I wasn't going to add much other than saying, like, man, you're doing a great job, Matt. Like, I almost feel like we want to bring you back very regularly, because this is nice, just kicking back and relaxing, hearing you ask the questions. I mean, you're doing a great job. Nice work, man.
Do you guys have to bring him back and put him on? I was say you have to bring him back and put him on the hot seat. You guys ask him questions.
Well, he's been in the hot seat 3 times already.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
they've done that, and then the 3 viewers that were tuned in, it became 1, and they were like, okay, maybe no more hot seat for Matt. Maybe we keep it to people that actually want to be heard from.
You had 3. I'm up to 17 though. So I mean,
yeah, there you go.
We're killing it tonight. We are killing it tonight.
No, seriously, I'm loving this.
Go ahead.
No, I was admiring you. I'm saying I'm loving this, and I'm feeling the no rules. Actually, let's do a little comparison. How much of your bomber is left? Let's do a little measurement. Can you tell?
I have this much, but a confession is that my fiance Andrea, not to be confused with Andrea Koop, Andrea, soon to be Lauria, has taken about half of it. as well too behind the scenes.
Oh man. So I am right here.
Yeah,
This is the level of what's left in my bottle. But to be fair, I don't have a full glass. I don't have a full glass. I have this much left. This is how much I have left. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm definitely feeling it. So I love the fact that you're here, Matt. You are saving my life right now. But let me just hold up, give me some kind of sign when you're ready to take a break, because we have the pros asking pros questions segment. And whenever you're ready for a break, we can cut into that.
Why don't you throw some of those up there? I feel like we teased enough about the announcement, so you just mentioned that, and then maybe we can get an 18th viewer here when you do that. Here.
Hey, we're up to 20. We got 20.
Oh man, our ratings
That's
are
it.
skyrocketing right now. No, seriously, Matt, though, you're doing a great job. I love it. I love this.
I
This is the
appreciate
best. This is the best co-hosting job we've ever had. You've definitely beaten Glenn in regards to our co-hosts. So you can just you can rest assured you have beaten Glenn as far as the best co-hosts in the history of Eddie and Webby. Like, it's without a shadow of a doubt, you have beaten him. So cheers, my friend. But yeah, now it is time for the hottest segment in all of pickleball podcasting, and that is the pros asking pros questions segment. And this first question comes from one of our favorite pickleball players from the land down under. Here's a question from Morgan Evans.
G'day, Andrea. How you doing? Hope you're staying safe out there. My question to you is pretty simple. Meghan Markle, the now Duchess of Sussex, was once the lead actress in a corporate law show called Suits. Now, the word around the campfire is the show's storyline was loosely based on your rise to fame in corporate law. Is that true? Also, who's your favorite character? Take care.
No, that was not true. I don't even do corporate law. But I think I've only seen a couple of those episodes, and I can say that solving a big, giant legal problem in 45 minutes is not a thing. Yeah, I only have seen a couple of those episodes because now that I'm a lawyer, it really bothers me to watch lawyer shows because I take them all much too literally, and I'm like, no, that can't happen. No, definitely, that's awful. One of my favorite shows was Mr. Robot, and my husband has the opposite problem because he's into tech and IT, and he's like the same thing. He's like, why do you watch that stupid show? None of that's realistic. So that's how I feel about Suits.
The funny thing is, like, I feel like I'm a blend of you and your husband because I love the people that are part of Mr. Robot, but I work in IT, so I mean, I feel like it's a blending of both worlds. But let's go ahead and move on to the next question. This next question comes from one of the top female pros in the game. Here's the question from Lindsay Newman.
Hi, Andrea. Question. Who's your celebrity crush?
That's so funny. Oh, it's definitely Rihanna. I love Rihanna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a good one. Can't go wrong there.
I thought you were going to segue back to Gosling here at this point. And apparently,
I should have. You're right.
Matt, I think that's your celebrity crush, Matt, to be honest with you.
Yeah. That's what I'm picking up. I'm picking that up too.
You know how it takes Paul Richards 2 Michelob Ultras to get to a tournament? It takes me a 15% bomber to admit that I have a celebrity crush.
No, only a half of one.
Yes, exactly. It just takes a suggestion or just naming Ryan Gosling, and then there we go. So.
Yes.
Nice. All right, this next question comes from a great friend of ours, and that is the lovely and talented Catherine Parentau.
Hi, Hetty. Hi, Webby. Hi, Andrea. I hope you're all doing well. What is your favorite tournament of the year, Andrea?
Oh, well, that's easy. I'm a little biased. The Beer City Open for sure.
I thought you would say that. So let's say the Beer City Open didn't exist. What would your answer be then?
nationals. Like I said, I love to go out to
Yeah.
Indian Wells, playing as a pickleball player now, but I got to play as a tennis player, so it brings back a lot of memories. My sister Maggie and I like to go to Palm Springs, and I don't even know the name of it, but there's a Mexican restaurant there that we like to eat way too many chips and drink margaritas at too. And
It's called the Olive Garden. It's the Olive Garden.
yes, yes, you're right. The Olive Garden Mexican restaurant.
Mary,
You're right.
Mary, will you comment, Mary, if it's the Olive Garden in Palm Springs, please? Is that
Nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I've got to say, based on a spectator standpoint, because I've never been to the U.S. Open, I've never been to nationals, but based on just spectating over live streams, like nationals just looks friggin' incredible. I mean, like like how grand it is. I mean, it just looks so professional. And I would say, from a spectator standpoint, it's hard to go wrong with nationals. So I definitely can understand anybody who says nationals is one of their favorites of the year. But definitely my personal favorite is Beer City Open, without a question of a doubt. But what do I know?
Same with me.
make that
All right,
3?
let's go on to this next question. The next question is probably one of the deepest and most serious questions we've ever had on the Pros Asking Pros Questions segment, and it comes from our good friend Cassandra Gerke.
What up, girl? Have you ever taken advantage of being alone in a public place and farted as loud as you can?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Don't hold me under oath for that.
So Eddie, I'm not sure about you, but that might have been directed to Matt. Do you know who that was directed towards? She said what? She said, "What up, girl?" But I think she might have been talking about. She might have been talking about Matt. So what about you, Matt?
Party Girl Chica 420 does that quite impressively. So, not speaking on behalf of Matt, I'm speaking on behalf of my Instagram handle. So, but
I honestly thought there was like an inside story or something with that question, because that would just be a weird thing to ask, like randomly.
Right? So that was seriously just a random question, like no basis around it.
I can't think of a basis, honestly.
I love it.
Kenny Chow says if she says no, that's a lie.
Kenny, I thought it was Maggie, but it's Kenny. Okay, Kenny, you're killing me.
Nice. Well, thank you, Cassandra. That was amazing. I loved it. So this next question comes from somebody who knows Andrea very well, possibly more than any other pro player, and that is Andrea's sister, Maggie Remenzi Chow.
Hi, this is Maggie Remenzi Chow, here to ask my sister Andrea a question. Andrea, what happened at the 2018 Las Vegas Open?
Oh, wow. A lot happened there. But I think she's most specifically referring to when one of the cactuses jumped out and bit me. I don't remember what these things are called now, but they had cactuses all around the facility, and luckily we were done. I was done for the day. We were done playing. I was done for the tournament, done for the day. We were just trying to watch a match, but I got too close to one of these cactuses, and to be fair, I was trying to maneuver into areas that were roped off, so it was on me. But the cactuses are live plants, and I guess all plants are alive, but these things are really alive. If you get too close to them, I did not touch it, but if you get too close, they sense your body heat and they shoot off needles. And this thing shot off a lot of needles. It bit me hard. I had hundreds of needles in my thighs and my legs, but it was the most painful experience that I can't remember a more painful experience. As the day went on, though, the worst part was had a 5 a.m. type flight in the morning, and Maggie left on the red eye, so she wasn't there for this, but woke up at 3 a.m. ish to get to my flight, look in the bed, and I swore there were bed bugs all over the bed because there were cactus needles all over the bed, and woke up, I screamed because I thought I was sleeping in a bed bug bag. But after getting my whereabouts and figuring it out, no, there's just a bunch of cactus needles all over the bed. So thank you, Maggie,
man.
for letting me relive that.
I went to that 2019 tournament of that version, and I'm not exaggerating. Every 30 minutes they announce, "Please don't get close to the cacti." They they literally do it now. Last year, that's all they kept saying, and I was like, "Who is touching all these cacti?" And then now I hear full circle.
That's why I didn't touch it, but I got too close to it and it bit me hard.
Oh
You think they would
man.
just get rid of them, or I mean, if they're hurting people, there's a balance here between nice decoration and plants that bite people. It seems
Right?
ridiculous.
Can't answer that. I can't answer that. It bit me hard. We'll leave it at that.
What is the budget for the BCO 2021? You think we can fit some cacti in there, or just like maybe a crocodile on like a chain or something like that? Something crazy to just like be like, "Hey, don't touch that," like like maybe just like a pit bull in the corner, loosely tied to like a burning trash fire or something. That would be great.
Loosely, yeah, sure.
Let's put a bear over there and like poke him and prod him and then let him out of the cage. That
Yeah.
sounds like a good fun little decoration.
Why not?
Yeah. So I actually have a follow-up to that question. Maggie actually told us Andrea has a history of hurting herself in some type of freak accident at almost every tournament. Are there any other instances you care to bring up to us?
I don't know about every tournament, but that's the most extreme example. But I mean, I know that at the 2018 US Open, I broke my ankle and I was actually playing against Maggie.
Oh man, how'd that turn out?
It turned out with a broken ankle.
Oh man.
Oh, Maggie says multiple people got bit. I do remember that too. I wasn't the only one. There were other people in Vegas who got bit by that thing. I think I was the worst though, or maybe it's just in my head. Oh, Maggie says children and adults. See, I just tried to just like leave it all out because I was pretty scarred from it.
That goes to Eddie's point of like, hey, let's just keep bringing it back.
Right?
Multiple people, children. Like women and children are getting injured here, and they're like, no, they stay.
Right. We're not getting rid of these cactuses. I don't care what happens. They stay.
This is the desert. You're going to learn.
Yes, pretty much.
Man, those cacti, they're relentless. So this next question comes from one of our all-time favorites. Here is a two-part question from the one and only Irina Tereshchenko.
Hey, Eddie and Webby. Hi, Andrea. Irina Tereshchenko is here, your doubles partner and house guest for the Beer City Open. I hope you're doing well and enjoying the summer in Michigan. I know in the past you were a very accomplished tennis player at UCLA and a national champion. So my question is whether or not you brought any routines from tennis into pickleball. And if yes, what are they? Competitive routines.
Probably not competitive routines, but I sweat profusely, and I did in tennis, and I do when I go running or do any type of exercise class, and unfortunately I still do in pickleball, so I have to wear wristbands and towel off all the time, otherwise I can't hold my paddle. And that was the thing in tennis too, otherwise the tennis racket would slip out of me. It's not really a competitive routine, and I wish I didn't have to do it, but I have to do it.
I can relate 100%. Like I sweat profusely. It doesn't matter if I'm doing singles, doesn't matter if I'm doing doubles. The sweat just gushes out like crazy. So one thing I got to ask you, one thing I recently started doing is I started using overgrips. Do you use overgrips on your paddles?
I do. I use a Turner grip in the summer. I don't do it in the winter. I use just a regular, the normal grip on it during the winter. But in the summer, yeah, if I don't use a Turner grip in the summer, I mean, like we're talking 5 minutes in, I can't hold the paddle anymore.
Same. Yeah, like just this year, like after 3 years of pickleball, I finally started using overgrips, and it is a game changer. Like I think I'm instantly like at least a 4.5 player now because of overgrips. Or
I believe
maybe
you. I believe
maybe
you.
two
I'm not
maybe 2.5 maybe 2.5.
sure somewhere in there. It doesn't matter. I am not sponsored by Turner Group or Plug. I'm not plugging them because I don't get paid by them, but they are a game changer for me as far as being able to hold the paddle and play any. I mean, whether it's competitive, rec, it doesn't matter. On a hot day, my hands just sweat profusely, and it'll just slip right out if I don't have that on my paddle.
Yeah, overgrips for sure are a game changer for me. I'm doing a tournament, like my first tournament in a very long time is happening next weekend, as a matter of fact. And it's my first tournament ever using an overgrip. And I just got to tell you, everybody, watch out. Anybody playing me in this tournament, man, you're in for a hurting.
I believe it. I believe it. Watch out, everyone.
It's
Webby's coming for you.
Yeah, it's the only reason Eddie has beaten me in all the other Eddie versus Webby matches is because I didn't use an overgrip. I've got an overgrip now, Eddie, so watch yourself.
So do
I'm coming
I.
for you.
I got one now too.
Oh,
Oh, man.
No.
Ooh, we'll see what happens
Watch
on
out.
Eddie versus Webby Part 7, whenever that happens.
you
But,
guys are the Fast and the Furious of just series of battles. It's just like, okay,
Right?
I guess keep going on. At least you guys have stuck with the same theme, and there's not too fast, too furious, fast and furious, just furiously 5, all that. So keep
Right?
using the name. And probably a better comparison. You guys are like Friday the 13th and just different editions. So keep running.
Yeah. Yeah, so I recently had my 3-year anniversary from the first time I ever touched the pickleball paddle, and we've already had 6 Eddie versus Webby matches, so that just shows how fast we're pumping out the sequels. But so we had question 1 from Irina Tereshenko. Now it's time for question number 2 from Irina.
Also, you're one of the tournament directors for the Beer City Open, one of the most prestigious tournaments on the pickleball circuit. What do you and your team do year after year to keep the event relevant? Share some of your secrets. Thank you. Bye.
So that's a good one. Actually, we work really hard every year. I mean, so we try to do an upgrade at Belknap Park every year so that when you come back for whatever year, if you would have come back for year 3 this year, people would have noticed that there are no generators there. The electricity at the park was updated this year. So when I say updated, what I mean was we were going to have electricity for the first time, and we weren't going to need generators. So, and then 2018 to 2019's upgrades, we added shade structures between all of the different courts. So every year we do try to do a little bit of upgrades. All the proceeds from the Beer City Open go directly back into Belknap Park. It's a nonprofit. It's a community park in Grand Rapids, and Paul, Matt, and I were all volunteers. So everything that we do goes back into the park so that the 700-ish pickleball players in Grand Rapids can have a bigger and better facility every year, and then the Beer City Open can benefit year after year from that facility. So that's one way we do it. And then besides upgrades to the facility, we are trying to bring in more sponsors every year and increase the pro prize pool. So this year, again, we didn't have it, but had we had it, our plan and our intent was to have a pro prize pool of $25,000 as compared to last year when we had 16.5. And besides just for the pros, we always try to get some great gifts for the amateurs or for everybody who plays. We were supposed to have Beer City Open towels, and Paul worked really hard on them. Yeah, they were pretty awesome. And exactly, Matt's showing off his parent growler right now. All the winners at the tournament, whether you're in pro or amateur, get a growler from Parent Brewing. That was going to happen again this year. Yes, Adam has his too.
I wasn't a winner. I wasn't a winner, but Simone was nice enough to give me this before she left last year's Beer City Open. So I'm going to show this off very proudly.
Do it. Fair enough. Yeah. So, and then this shows you how I don't even know what the right word is, but Paul ordered 600 1-ounce bottles with our logo, Beer City Open logo, of hand sanitizer. But he ordered these in like January. He ordered these well before COVID. He was totally on top of it. So we had all of that to give out to everybody this year, and we're going to hold on to it for next year. It'll still be good, but we work hard every year to make it a bigger and better event. We want our facility to be better, and we want all of our gifts. We want everybody who comes to the Beer City Open, whether they win the tournament, don't win a match, win one match, we want them to have a good experience. Another thing we added last year, everybody who played the tournament got lunch from Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's is a great sponsor for us, and they provided lunch for everybody who played every day. If you played, you got lunch from Jimmy John's that day, and they were going to be back this year, and they've already signed on for 2021, which we're really excited about. And so you'll have to play in 2021, Irina, to see what we add next year.
Nice. But yeah, I can speak from personal experience. The Jimmy John's and the shade structures were game changers for the 2019 Beer City Open. So yeah, it's awesome, the improvements you guys are making. I love it. And like we said before, going to be bigger and better than ever next year. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. But it's time to move on to the next question. And this next question comes from one of the best singles players in all of pickleball. And this is for both Andrea and Matt. Here's the question from Tyson McGuffin.
Matt and Andrew, what's up? My question for you guys is, how did your boy from the Pacific Northwest hang with the Grand Rapids crew last year during 4th of July? By the way, thanks for Leia Jansen.
You guys, I need some context here, okay? So I don't know when Tyson shot this video, but he sent it this morning. It's like 7:30 in the morning local time, West Coast. So he's what was he in a hot tub there? What was going on in that video? It's 7:30 in the morning. He's already shirtless. Does Tyson McGuffin just live shirtless? I feel like we need answers.
That's just Tyson.
Yeah,
I feel like we need
being
these
Tyson.
He's
always
shirtless.
Instagram, always shirtless. Always just like, there's no thought to like his Instagram stories. He's just like, I'm showing everything. I love it. And then that hot tub, man, that hot tub is only second to Hugh Hefner's at this point.
Right? Yeah, seriously. If Tyson isn't the poster boy for why anybody wouldn't want to become a pro pickleball player, I don't know what is.
True enough. True. I think that this is a question more for Matt, because I am the boring one in the group. And last year we had a lot of fun on the 4th of July. And our friend Shane had us over to his lake, and it was a great day. But I'm not used to having that much fun. We'll put it that way.
He can hang with the best of them. That's why Tyson is Tyson, man. But he can hang well. And I give a shout out to Shane Stokes. He's a pro player as well too here in Grand Rapids, and he provided all the sun and all the fun on a boat to be able to provide for anyone at that point. And it's just fun. Actually, I was saying that this is crazy because last year at this time it was like, from 4th of July to the Perrin pre-party, and then Beer City Open, and then it was all these things. It just felt like it just rolled, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, it's already over? And so then you already look forward to like, okay, don't worry, next summer it's going to be back again. And then it's like, no, pandemic. There's no pickleball whatsoever. So it's a bummer, and as you mentioned, it's just going to make for an even better 2021. But Tyson will hopefully be able to hang even better than with a little girl at that point. So
nice.
The context for that is that he's having a little girl, not that.
Yeah. We picked up on that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
So speaking of Shane Stokes, this next question is actually from Shane Stokes, and this one is for Matt.
Grandmaster, what's up, buddy? One question I have for you. Actually, I have two questions. What would be the number one venue that you'd want to do stand-up comedy at? And number two, who is the number one male and female pickleball player.
Wow. I'm first and foremost, I love the Eddie and Webby show so much that the fact that I have a pros asking a 4.0 kind of 4.5 question is just, it's really like, can we just take a moment to just say how amazing this is? I feel blessed as ever. So I got one from Tyson, and then Tyson at 126 level, Shane Stokes. That is absolutely amazing. I love it. Oh God, the number one venue. Probably two of them. There's all these stories from these two venues. The most historic venue is in Los Angeles on the Sunset Strip. It's called the Comedy Store. It's kind of where everybody in the early Carson days used to go to get discovered, and hopefully be able to get discovered by Carson and Carson booking agent to be able to be on Carson. Because if at that point you did a 4 to 6 minute set on Carson and it went well, your life was changed. You got to be able to be on everything. So they discovered everyone at that place, from Robin Williams to Richard Pryor to, oh God, Sam Kinison, and all the way up towards to now to the likes of like names that you'll know out there today, from Bill Burr to Tom Segura to, Taylor Tomlinson, Eliza Schlesinger. All these people have just become amazing out of that place. But that is a factory, and there's 4 shows running at the same time every night, and I think it's amazing. But the Comedy Cellar in New York City is kind of like it's the dungeon of comedy. It's not been around as long, but everybody that's in New York really wants to go there because it's the basement of the Olive Tree Cafe, and it probably has about 100 seats in there. And if right now, if they were allowed to be open because of COVID, I bet they could maybe fit 4 people in there. And I'm not exaggerating because that's how small the confines is. But it's not uncommon for any night of the week, from Chappelle to drop in to Chris Rock to Amy Schumer, all these people. And so it's kind of where people get comedy chops. And you feel like if you can make it in either one of those places, you are, you're
Hey, Andrew.
the limelight of that.
Can you go down?
So, oh God, number 1 and number 2. What did you say? The number 1 and number 2 pickleball players? Number 1 male, number one female.
Yep.
I'm going to be biased, just as biased as I am with the Beer City Open, and I'm going to say Tyson McGuffin and Andrea Koop, because why not, huh?
Might as well. There's no official ranking system. We're working on that, and then you won't be able to be so biased.
And Shane is 1A for the males.
Fair. I like it. It's probably the 15% are talking.
I like it. I think we actually might have lost Webby. So it's a good thing I came on the screen so I can take over for him here while he gets back up and running. Actually, this next question does kind of have something to do a little bit with me, so kind of works out. And we have another question for Matt, and this is from somebody who knows him incredibly well, and that is from his fiance, Andrea.
All right, we're going to place a little friendly wager here on this next question. Myself and Matt like to, be a little competitive. So the winner of this wins a beer of their choice, and the loser has to buy that beer for that person. The big question of the day: how many miles or how far did Eddie walk today? We're going to let Eddie be the judge of that and tell us based on his little Apple Watch scoring here. My guess is going to be 2.14 miles. What's yours?
This is so inside baseball. I love it. Did Eddie, did she give any context to this whatsoever?
So I think it'd be important to provide a little context and how Matt and Andrea made me feel like a lazy piece of crap for the 30 to 45 days that we were all sharing our activity levels via our Apple Watches with each other. And I honestly thought that I was a pretty active person. I would do a 2.5 to 3 mile walk every morning. I would typically do some sort of yoga or stretching, and then 4 to 5 days a week, I would do at least some other like 30-minute type of workout in addition to pickleball. And then I start seeing what Matt and Andrea do, and I'm like, number one, do they have jobs? Because how are you doing an hour and a half workout and then 20 minutes later doing 30 minutes of yoga and then 20 minutes later doing a 15-minute bike ride and then another hour? You guys are just always working out. What is up with that?
It's all the 15% beers. That's all we have. So like, we do so many of those that you're like, in the next morning, it's a good guilt complex, and you do that. So
well, and I find myself too. It's like I a lot of times I wouldn't even like set a starting a workout if I would do it, and I'm like, oh, I have to now because Matt and Andrea already have like 3 times the amount of exercise in today that I do, and I felt like a piece of crap all the time. That's why I stopped, because I'm like, I feel like garbage every day now. Jeez.
Eddie, I can relate. I was gonna say I can relate. This morning I was debating whether I was gonna do a workout today. I was just like feeling pretty lazy, and right back to back, Matt and Andrea's beeped at me. Andrea finished strength training. Andrea finished stretching, and Andrea finished a watch or a walk. And I don't know what you did today, Matt. I don't remember, but you were probably right there with her. So I was like, damn it, it's 11 a.m. and I haven't done anything except sit on my ass. So you actually motivated me to get off of it. Yes.
That's what we're trying to do. So I got to tell you then, Eddie. So what we did is, because you were typically doing your walks at the same time that we were doing workouts before we start work, we have a glass shower and you have to squeegee it afterwards. And so we would take Post-it notes and we would write, what is your guess for how long Eddie's walk is? And then we would say, how long do you think Eddie's walk is? And whoever guess was the closest, that person had to squeegee the shower. So let me just real quick show you here how many that we have on the wall for all the different walks.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So in recent times, you haven't been sharing them with them, and so it's just been up to whoever can squeegee it here at this point.
All right, I'll go back to sharing with you guys then, so we can make it an ongoing bet. And I'm going to just throw you guys off now. I'm going to throw in some wild cards. So, but you have to pick now. So Andrea picked, I think she said like 2.15 miles, and I have the results in front of me.
I'm going to guess that you were very aggressive here today, and so I'm going to say that you were 2.6.
Well, you are closer. It was 2.75. Let's see here. Can we get it to focus? Come on, folks. There we go. 2.75 miles. So you are the big winner. Congratulations. So what was the wager? A beer? So now she's got to get you a beer.
Yeah, this is what she's been doing the whole podcast here at this point. So.
She's a keeper, Matt.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Nice. Well, I think yeah, I heard her from the background there. I think we got Webby back. Webby, are you there still?
I am back. I don't know what happened, but actually, we're going to have a live question here from Michelle Esquivel, who is beside Andrea Koop right now.
Yes. I love live questions.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Michelle?
What up, Michelle?
How's it going? Hey, I brought my beer, so cheers.
Cheers.
First of all, Andrea, thank you so much for having me, and thanks to you guys for having me. So, I get to ask a question, right?
Yes. What's your question?
Yeah. So, Andrea is such a badass attorney, and she crushes it, and it amazes me how well she does on tour. So, my question for her is, if you weren't in such a badass attorney, would you be going pro full time? And if not, what other career would you do or be into? So I'm going to pass it back to her.
Nice. Great question.
Wow, she's putting me on the spot here. it's a big, I don't know if I would do pickleball full time. I think I really like my balance that I get to do it right now. It's a hobby, and every time I get to play, I don't experience the same pressure that I envision Michelle or someone who does it full time experiences. That doesn't mean that I have any idea what they experience as far as pressure, but to me, it's not my job, and I think I like it that way. I don't know that I would want to be a professional athlete full time and have that be my job. I like that I can use pickleball as my outlet, and I will say that getting into pickleball in 2017 was a big blessing for me because I didn't know that I miss being competitive and miss competing. I didn't realize that until I started doing it, and it's great that it's part of my life, and I can't envision my life without it. But and I love the way that it is getting to practice law, be a lawyer Monday through Friday most weeks, and then play pickleball on the weekends. And this hasn't happened in 2020, but my plan was to try to play about one weekend a month, one tournament a month. So that was the plan, and it was going to be my busiest pickleball year ever. Everyone's plans for 2020 got kind of upended, but I think that's the way that I would want to play pickleball regardless, or any type of professional sport. I don't think I would be very good at it doing it full time.
Great question. Thank you, Michelle. Love Michelle. One of our favorites. So she's staying with you right now, it looks like, huh?
So yeah, she arrived today. So she arrived today. She's doing clinics, or she did clinics in Lake Odessa, which is about an hour and a half from where I live. She's been there for 3 days, and now she's gonna stay with me for about a week. And while she's here, she's gonna be giving lessons to local people in the Grand Rapids and Lakeshore area. So if there are any great local people listening and they want lessons with Michelle, reach out to me and I'll connect you with her, or reach out to her on Facebook and I'm sure she'll respond. But she's here for a week, and I think next weekend she's doing another clinic at Lake Arvesta, which is run by Scott Smith, and I think that's in the South Haven area. So she's spending about 2 weeks in Michigan and gonna get the whole West Michigan flavor. So we're gonna try to have fun. I'm gonna enjoy getting to play pickleball with her for the next week, and hopefully we'll give her the top-notch West Michigan experience. It's a good place to be in the summer.
Yeah, Michelle's always a lot of fun to have around, and she's a beast on the court too. So that'll be really a cool experience for everybody out there. Definitely go get some lessons from her if you can.
Love it. Love it.
Yep. Well, Webby is back, but his video, it reminds me of, what was that character from Max Headroom? Do you remember him? From the 80s, I think it was, where he was always glitching out on screen. That's what it reminds me of right now.
It's Glitch from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, exactly. He's glitching out, but we can hear him just fine.
Yeah,
AKA Matt's connection the last time he was on our show.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty funny.
I figured out what area in my house to not put this here anymore. And I bet you that storm from Grand Rapids is in Detroit now, huh?
Yeah, I feel like the storm made its way over to where I'm at in Southeast Michigan. So thank you very much, Matt, for that.
Well, your audio
is still beautiful in Grand Haven, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, this one.
Can you guys at least see how much I have left of the glass I'm holding up? That's how much of the no rules I have left of the whole bomber. The bomber is empty other than what I have in my glass. Here's the proof. I don't know if it's showing up on video because everything is messed up right now. But yeah, I'm needless to say, this has been an amazing night on my part. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and finish it off. I'm gonna finish off this bomber here live on the air.
Get it.
I gotta say the way your video looks right now for drinking a whole 15% bomber, it's actually quite appropriate. It looks like how you should look, actually. It's giving the audience the full experience.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like that's a perfect first person view of what I'm seeing out of my eyeballs right now. But I don't know if you guys can see this right now. I'm holding up my my No Rules pairing glass right now to the camera. It's empty, which also means the bottle is empty. And yeah, I'm feeling really good right now.
I was say the slurring of the words is what gave it away to me. You didn't even have to show me the bottle. I already knew.
It's like my internet. My internet is like connected with my inner body and my. I don't even know what I'm saying right now.
No. Yeah, no more pontificating. No more. That's. I love it. It's just
Eddie.
Literally, it's
and Matt,
no
you
rules.
guys. Eddie and Matt, you guys got to close the show because I'm just going to ruin everything right now.
You're fine. Stop it.
This is too much fun. Well, are you serious, Webby? You want us to close it out?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm out. I tap out.
That's hilarious.
Good night.
All right. Well, then I guess I'll say this. That was amazing. Matt, thank you so much for being an incredible co-host. I always love to hear the way that other people kind of ask questions, and obviously, you know, you being a comedian, this goes right along with it, right? Being able to read the situation and flow and adjust and ask the right questions and keep it going smoothly. And that was awesome. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you being on as a co-host. I hope you come back again in the future, if you will.
Gladly, man. Thank you guys so much. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I look forward to this. I always love to text you guys when I listen to a podcast in full and say how much. And so it's been so amazing to see how far you guys have brought this thing. And it sucks that we're not in person, you know, actually giving each other's hugs here right now, because we had an amazing pairing pre-party on the deck here right now. It's amazing to not have to see your podcast get commandeered by a bunch of pros. And so, but it is, you guys have made this sport so much better, and you guys have made it feel so much more connected. And so thank you to Andrea too as well for inviting me to come on here and do this. And huge shout out to Paul Richards, because I feel like he lives for the Beer City Open and all his hard work, and the whole team with the Beer City Open crew and how much they put into this. And it stinks that it's not happening, but the amount of stuff I know that they've done for 2021 and just seeing here right now, it's exciting. I'm excited that we're lined up and we actually have something here. So let's get this vaccine.
Yeah, let's get this thing moving here. Seriously though, thank you, Matt. Andrea, it's been awesome to get to know your background a little bit better. I think it's so good to hear about your tennis history and how it applies to pickleball now. And thank you for all the great things you're doing with pickleball and all the hard work. Webby and I are seriously excited to be co-hosts with you next year for the Beer City Open. I can't wait. I can't believe it's a whole year from now. I feel like I'm not going to sleep for a year in excitement from it, but very excited. Thank you again for being on. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Let's not wish our life away. We've got a whole year of fun and exciting things to get through before the 2021 Beer City Open. But when it happens, I know with you guys on board in an official capacity, it's going to be even better. So I'm honored and excited to have you guys joining me.
Yes, it's going to be great. Before we go, Matt, how can people follow you on your journey of ridiculousness and all the great things that you do?
Instagram. That's probably my best one. Instagram. It's the wildest screen name, and if you guys get it right, thank you so much. It's a Party Girl Chica 420 on Instagram. It's nonsense, and Party Girl is spelled with a U, girl. And so if you stumble upon it, when you actually get it, it says Matt Lauria. And I'm gonna get back to Instagram here now, so I will get back to posting on there, and I'm worth a follow. So I can't believe I'm promoting my Instagram here right now on a pickleball podcast. My name's Party Girl Chica 420. I love it.
I love it.
And Andrea, I know you're like Twitter seems to be kind of your social media outlet out of all of them. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't. I have an Instagram. My sister made me make it, but that's all it's ever been is my sister made me make it. I've never used it before. So I do most of my posting and following on Twitter. I get all my daily dose of everything there. So, yes. And that's
And how
just
can?
at Andrea Remenzi.
All right.
So, at
Go ahead.
Andrea Remenzi. Remynse. So, Maggie's last name or former last name.
Good stuff, guys. Go out there, give them a follow. Thank you guys both again very much for being on. Really appreciate it. We hope to have you on in the future as well.
Thanks,
Can't
guys.
wait.
Talk
Thank you
soon.
guys so much.
Our pleasure, guys. We'll see
Bye.
you. Another great episode of the Eddie and Webby podcast. And Webby, I'm assuming even though you're coming in glitchy from video, you can hear the audio just fine, right?
I can hear the audio just fine.
Good. That was wild, man. I mean, think about all the great stuff that happened. First of all, you finished after a soup juice an entire bottle of Pear and No Rules, right?
Yes, I am very proud of myself. The entire bottle of No Rules is gone after pre-showing with the soup's juice. Yeah, I feel like tonight is like the perfect way to celebrate the Beer City Open not happening.
Drinking your sorrows away over there.
Yes,
that was a lot. That was great having Matt on and being able to be the co-host. I think that was really cool to have him kind of do the main interview part with Andrea. So lots of great stuff there. Is there anything else that you wanted to be able to talk about today before we close up the show?
No, I think this was a great episode. I love the fact that Andrea and Matt were part of it, and I love the fact that Matt was our co-host. He did a great job. And yeah, I'm going to pass out as soon as the show ends. So that's all I've got.
Well, that was a great show. And guess what? This was episode 69. So I wanted to give a big thank you to all 69 of you that are out there still watching. You know who you are. We love you to bits. And on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.